Playback.
I really like the funky hip hop, the Jungle Brothers, Brand Nubian, Public Enemy. They had very funky samples back in the day. So I was not just listening to hip hop, but also the samples, and this was like James Brown, the Gang, the Meters, etc. Quite soon I was very curious about discovering bands which were not well known, no big art. I mean, I love James Brown, you know, he's the man, you know. But I discovered many bands on compilation, bands which brought out 145 in the 70s, and that's it, you know. And those songs have been released on a compilation. And I remember one particular compilation which blew my mind. It was called The Sound of Funk Volume 1. It was a bootleg compilation, obviously, but anyway, it was from 1992. Lay back, relax, and let the groove move you. For me, it was totally new and names I've never heard of, you know. And the music was so raw and so intense, and that I just fell in love with it. And from that time on, it was the early 90s. I started collecting records. Of course, at first I started collecting compilations because I was 14 years old. There was no internet back in the day as well. So I never wanted to collect records just to have them. You know, I always wanted to share the music, and I started DJing at private parties. You know, at my brother's birthday party, for example. And as soon as I got my driver's license, I started to DJ at a small place, and then I started to look for places in Munich, and yeah, that started in 1996 when I turned 18. The Poets of Rhythm were also a very big influence, because they were, I think in those days, they were the funk band. I mean, there was Sharon Jones, I think, was already there as well in New York, but it was not that well connected as nowadays. So, and the Poets of Rhythm were really, I think, the band in the rare groove movement from the 90s, and they were from Munich, so I became very good friends with them, and I saw almost every concert, and yeah, they had a big influence on me as well. I never had it in mind to start a professional label. I was collecting records for, like, I would say 10 years in the early 2000s. The Poets of Rhythm band leader Jan, he gave me a tape, just a simple tape with unreleased music, and I was listening to it at home, and I was just like, oof, oh man, every single track is a killer. And then I talked to Jan and said, hey, why don't you release it? And he said, I don't know. And then I had the idea to press a 45 with 2 songs, and yeah, he agreed to it, and that was the first 45 on Tramp. And it was just because I wanted to release music which may have never been released without this 45 I did. So yeah, as collecting records and DJing, I just wanted to share the music I love, and that's how it started. After the first 45, I did a second one, also from a local Munich band, and around that time I already started to working on reissues, but only 45 RPM single reissues. So I got in touch with people in the US asking for the rights of this and that 45 and this and that composition, and I did this for 3 or 4 years. You know, I did not have to make a living out of that, so it was just for fun. You know, I was happy to get in touch with the musicians, to release it, and so after a couple of years I had released, I don't know, maybe between 5 or 10 45s. My first compilation came out in 2005, that's the first movements, and the second one came in 2006, and around that time I decided that I want to do all this with my label, with my own label, with Tramp. I started in 2003, so next year we have the 10-year anniversary, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully a few more years. My taste is quite special, I think. When it comes to reissues, I mean, I'm really into the mid-60s to mid-70s stuff. I do like disco and boogie, but it's not on that what I would like to focus. I would like to focus on the raw, organic, rough and hard 60s funk stuff. I also like soul music, but yeah, my heart beats for the raw stuff, and that's for the reissues. And for the new stuff, if I release an album from a current band, from current artist, it has to sound at least a little bit like the 1960s. It's not, for me, it's not copying the 60s. It's more like it's more like developing and taking this atmosphere and putting it out again.
It's,
you know, it's kind of preserving this legacy and
keeping
this,
that spirit alive.
Exactly. If you want an original artist from the 60s, it's James Brown, obviously. I mean, just you can listen to any of his records between like 65 and I don't know 75 probably, and you get, at least in my opinion, the description of how funk should sound.
And I felt very proud.
And if you want a current band which interprets this sound, is Sharon Jones and Dead Kings. Also, their big success, they keep their roots, and they do not change their sound just because they fill venues of like 1,000 or 2,000 people. You know, I just saw them in Munich, and they play this raw type JD stuff, and it's just great. I'm really happy with each and every release I've done. There is not a single release which I would not do anymore. So, but yeah, the release I'm most proud of at the moment is my latest compilation, Movements Volume 4, because it took like 2 years and much work and energy to get the licensing done, and to talk to musicians, to get the biographies for the booklet, to get the photos, the pictures and everything, and finally to put everything together. And but there is more to come, so watch out. The next one is it's about a musician from Texas, Vernon Garrett. Probably 2 more this year, maybe, hopefully, after summer. Then I'm always working on a probably Movements Volume 5. There we are working on a Feeling Nice Volume 2. We have a little club night in Munich called Shake a Leg. We're working also on a second volume of this compilation. The Qualitons will release a new album soon. And hopefully Lucky Brown as well. Yeah, I'm running out of time every week, every day. But it's yeah, it's simply so much fun, you know, to get up in the morning and to be able to start working. And I mean, I'm lucky to do my hobby as my job, more or less. I mean, even if it's financially a bit tricky sometimes, but that's my decision, you know. If I want to change that, I just need to take a proper job, you know. But I really like what I'm doing, and I love what I'm doing, and as far as my enthusiasm is still here, I will continue that.